Sovereign Town Road. Sovereign Town Road. 7 months since I staked my claim, and I don't know where the gold is, but I found where it is. Life ain't nothing here but flies, dirt and heat. Yeah, there's dust in the damp, mud in my teeth. I've seen lucky strikes a dozen times over. They're always back before the week's end. New hat and boots and a hangover. Better picking, selling victuals and beer, or just sly grog I hear, getting rich off men's knees. Sovereign Town Road. Sovereign Town Road.
It is my pleasure to welcome back to Blues on the Hill, Geoff Achison. Welcome back.
Good evening, Baz. Nice to see you. I think it's 2 years ago we actually debuted Another Mile, Another Minute.
We did on your new label in the States.
Yeah, Landslide Records. Yeah.
And this actually goes to them on the 25th of August, is that right?
Actually, it goes to Landslide Records. Will be releasing this worldwide September 7th.
Ah, so 25th here.
But the 25th of August is our official Melbourne launch, It's in stores, Aussie stores, August 25th.
August 25th, but internationally on Landslide on September.
Yeah, you'll be able to find it anywhere you like, September 7th.
Awesome stuff. Congratulations.
Thanks, mate.
A different direction.
Mm-hmm.
And, so how did this come about? When did this project come into your head? How long have you been working and thinking about doing this?
Okay, so it began to come together late last year, and so I was thinking the follow-up should feature a bit more acoustic work. I had a little bit of a bank of tunes. There were 3 in particular that I'd written around about that time, and so I was liking the vibe that I was getting happening. Definitely wanted double bass and some real Hammond organ. And I just happened to be in Ballarat doing a guitar workshop at Matt Harding's place, and Matt had organised a jam session with some players, and I had met these guys once before, but in this jam session that happened. So what was that? Somewhere early spring of 2017, I think.
Okay.
And and just quietly I thought to myself, like, I really clicked with those guys musically. They're all Ballarat guys.
Yeah.
And just quietly I thought, I think this is the crew. And so I went home and just kept working on it. But then I had the sound in mind.
So you had the Sovereign Town, like the gold mine vibe and all that sort of thing?
No,
or
not
did that
quite.
come about?
No, not quite. That sort of evolved. That came about as things came together. So I meet these Ballarat musicians, and then once I had a few more tunes together and I had a better idea of the direction of the project, I contacted them to see if they were up for making a record, and signed them all up. And then I thought, I've always recorded in Melbourne when I've been here, but I thought, well, it probably makes more sense to record in Ballarat rather than getting those guys to come to my part of the world. It's probably easier if I go to theirs. So they gave me a list of studios that they knew of, and one name just leapt out, and that was Rick Formosa.
Okay.
He's that old guitar hero of mine. He's the original guitar player for the Little River Band. It's a long way there. That stunning guitar solo on that record. That was Rick. I heard that when I was a kid.
Okay.
And I just hair on the back of my neck stood up. Yeah, so I was a bit nervous about meeting Rick, but I called him. I went round to his place, and he showed me his studio, which is built in his backyard, and it's just the most beautiful studio I think I've ever seen.
Wow.
I could live in it. It's just so beautifully done, like everything Rick does. So now, travelling on a regular basis to Ballarat. I guess I got to thinking about that journey that the old diggers were making. Ballarat's a very famous, but probably the most infamous gold mining town in Australia. The site of the Eureka Rebellion and some of the largest nuggets ever found in the world. And I actually had that song we just played. This guitar figure had been going around my head for some time. And every time I played it, I was thinking about where I grew up. So I grew up out in that part
the Malmesbury area, and
Yep, and I thought it was going to be a song about us kids riding out into the bush and exploring the old tunnels and the old shafts. There's great big holes in the ground that are still out there, and we used to dare each other to jump over them. You stand on the edge, drop a stone, and count until it hit the bottom. You're pretty deep. Then just doing that journey backwards and forwards, just got me thinking more and more about the goldfields. And so I wanted to express that in the song. I actually found a novel about the goldfields, and so I was reading that at the time that we were recording, and so that resulted in that song. And then it was my wife's suggestion, Michelle's suggestion, with the artwork, that should be the title, and there's the artwork. And Sean Clovisey had these fantastic photos, and Willie Mitchell put the whole thing together.
Right.
So far as artwork concept.
And it's got a lot more on it, than just that sort of acoustic stuff. You got a lot of different flavours on here. I mean, you've got electric vibe going on. There's some beautiful instrumentals, dreamy sort of instrumentals. Real.
Yeah, thanks, man. Well, I've always written lots of this sort of stuff. In fact, some of the songs I delved back into the bank. Because there's always a few sitting there. Now, there were a couple of tunes that actually go back about 20 years.
Wow.
That didn't find their way onto studio albums at the time. So quite often you've got a list of, if an album finally goes out there with 12 songs on it, there might have been 16 or 18 that we were working on, or at least that I was working on before we went in the studio. So it was nice to pull those out, and I thought, these really seem to go with the thread. There's a song called Wandsworth Bridge, which I wrote when I was living in London, and that was at a time when I guess I'd left home and I was seeking my fortune, and it was all falling apart at the time of writing that tune.
Stop. Now, you bought the guitar in.
Yes, I did.
You bought your beautiful Gibson guitar, and we're going to do one off the album. So tell us about this one that you're going to do off the album.
This is the one cover that's on the record, and this is it's a beautiful old Ben Harper song. It's been in my solo set for many, many years. I've always liked it. It's one of those tunes that the very first time I heard it, I thought, man, I wish I'd written that, and it's always gone down very well and just fit in with the vibe of the whole album. So I've got the band to play on it, but I'll do my solo version here. It's called Walk Away, Ben Harper. Oh no, here comes that sun again. Another day without you, my friend, and it hurts to look into the mirror at myself, and it hurts even more to have to be with somebody else, and it's so hard to do and so easy to say. And honey, sometimes you just have to walk away. You got to walk
I worry about one. But honey, you put the happy into my nest, and you put the good times into my food. And it's so hard to do and so easy to say. But honey, sometimes you just have to walk away. You got to walk away. We said our goodbyes in so many ways. We're walking the same direction, just so we would never stray. And they say, if you love somebody, you got to set them free. But I would rather tie to you than live in this kind of misery. They say the time will make this all go away. It's time let us take them out tomorrow. Now it's turned them into yesterday. Once again, that rising sun's dropping on down. And once again, my friend, you just cannot be found. Yeah, and it's so hard to do and so easy to say. Well, sometimes you just have to walk away. You get to walk away. You got to walk away. Get to walk away.
Back with Baz. You are listening to Blues on the Hill. It's the Oz Blues Hour. Geoff Achison is my special guest. Now, you've got the...
I got the resonator on.
You've got the resonator. Now, as I said before, there's a lot of variety on this new release, and there's some beautiful instrumentals. There's some real dreamy instrumentals. And this one I want you to play now is my favourite, so tell us about this one.
Cool Bardy Sunrise, this is called. So this was a piece of music that I'd begun working on, and then we started recording out at Rick Formosa's place, and it was my habit to spend a couple of 3 days at a time, going all the way out to Ballarat. So we wanted to make use of the time rather than trying to drive back to Frankston in between. So I'd get up in the morning, make myself a cup of coffee, and I'd take this resonator guitar out in the backyard and sit on Rick's porch, and he had all these magpies that were around. So I'm trying to write this tune, and all the magpies in the morning sort of chortling away. So I started trying to jam with them. Kind of fancied they were reacting to the sound of the guitar. So the opening strains of this were my attempt to emulate the magpie song. So this is called Cool Bardy Sunrise.
Beautiful stuff. Geoff Achison, Cool Barty Sunrise. It is on the new release called Sovereign Town.